Assalamualaikum, I am SAKINAH. I will be explaining the introduction part. Let's go for 1.1, the background of the research problem. Reusable water bottles are a popular and eco-friendly alternative to single-use plastic, helping reduce pollution in the environment. However, many users do not clean their bottles regularly, which can lead to bacterial growth and potential health risks such as gastrointestinal infections. Research shows that some reusable bottles can contain more bacteria than a kitchen sink, computer mouse, or even a pet bowl. Factors like poor cleaning habits, lack of awareness, and bottle designs with narrow openings make true cleaning difficult. The warm, moist environment inside bottles further encourage bacterial growth. This study focuses on understanding the levels of bacterial contamination in daily use water bottles among UNIKL students, as well as examining their knowledge, attitudes, and cleaning practices related to water bottle hygiene. For 1.2, the role or significance of the study. Several studies have reported bacterial contamination in reusable water bottles, including harmful bacteria such as E. coli, Staphylococcus aureus, and also Salmonella species. These bacteria are commonly introduced through poor hygiene and oral contact. While the risk of severe infection may be low, their presence indicates a serious hygiene concern. Most existing research focuses on school children or a general pollution with the limited attention to the college students. This study aims to assess UNIKL students' knowledge, attitudes, and practice related to water bottle hygiene and link this behavior to actual bacterial contamination. For 1.3, research question. This study aims to explore three key research questions. First, it examines the level of awareness among UNIKL students regarding poor hygiene for their daily use water bottles. Second, it investigates how user behavior such as cleaning frequency, choice of water sources, refilling habits, and storage practices, which affects bacterial contamination. Lastly, the study seeks to identify the primary contribution factors to bacterial presence in reusable water bottles used by students. This question aims to provide a comprehensive understanding of the relationship between hygiene practices and microbial risk in bottle usage.
Hello and very good evening. My name is ZULFAH and I'll be going to explain about literature review for our English technical project. Okay, so now let's look at what the literature say. Basically, what researchers have already found out about reusable bottles and also their related topics. Okay, first thing first is some of the finding honestly a bit beneficial for us. Let's start with research insight first. Okay, according to Miller et al. 2020, reusable bottle may actually contain more bacteria than toilet seats. Sounds unbelievable, right? But think about it. People often don't clean their bottles properly, and moisture build up inside, which makes it a perfect condition for the bacteria to grow. So if someone drinks straight from the bottle after leaving it in a warm bag all day, they could be exposing themselves to harmful bacteria. Okay. Then there's another study by Hamad et al. 2022. They found that even bottled water, which we usually think as a clean and safe, was sometimes contaminated with antibiotic resistant bacteria or resistant bacteria. That means even sealed bottles you buy from a store are always 100% safe, especially if stored improperly or reused without cleaning. Okay, move on to next one is environmental and also economic benefits. Okay, on a more positive note, reusable bottles have some clear benefit, especially for the environment. According to Ratada et al. 2011, in his article, using reusable bottle helped to reduce plastic waste and pollution. Just imagine how many plastic bottles we throw away every day. If one person switches to a reusable water bottle, they could save hundreds of single use per year. That's a big deal when we're talking about the fights against ocean pollution and also landfill waste. All right. Next one is researcher like Shrestha et al. 2022 have found that nowadays we have cost-effective and BPA-free alternative. BPA is actually a chemical found in some plastic that may affect the health. So newer bottles made from stainless steel or the Triton plastic are safer and reusable. And the best part is, many of these options are actually affordable now, and not just for eco enthusiasts, but also for students like us. It's not very affordable or have a lot of money, so it is really effective for us. Okay, next one is health and hygiene risks. Let's get back to the hygiene risk because this is a big one. So, according to Sun et al. 2017, reusable bottle can harbor bacteria, fungi, and also pathogens. For example, if someone leaves their bottles in a car on a hot day or forgets to rinse it for a week, it can develop mold or harmful microbes. This can potentially lead to stomach issues, skin infection, or other health problems, especially for kids or people with weak immune system. Yeah, we might want to take cautious on that because I have an example. It's not really a scientifically method, but I rarely wash my water bottle. So whenever I drink from the water from the bottle, I easily get a fever. So I do know that I need to clean my water bottle. Okay, so the next one, the last one, is awareness and innovation. And finally, on this topic, Jones et al. 2019 found that many people still don't understand proper hygiene practice for reusable water bottle. For example, some might just give it a quick rinse with water, but that doesn't actually remove the bacteria. Proper cleaning, like using a brush, water brush, and soap, or even occasionally disinfecting it with vinegar or baking soda, is still not a common practice for many. And I admit I don't really wash my water bottle with vinegar or baking soda. I only wash it with soap. Okay, so the last one is, as for the technology side, Roy et al. 2018 reported that there are antimicrobial or self-cleaning technology exists, but it is costly. Alright. For example, some use a UV light to kill bacteria inside the bottle. It's pretty cool. However, the downside is that this machine can be quite expensive as they are not accessible to everyone yet. In Malaysia, a UV self-cleaning bottle can cost over about 200 and more, which is a big ask for most student or average consumer. Hence, overall, the research shows us both the good and the bad. Reusable bottles are awesome for the planet and can be cost effective, but there are definitely hygiene risks and awareness gap we still need to address. I think that's all from me. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the next presentation.
Hi, my name is NABEELA and I will be presenting about the methodology and results part. So as for the methodology, this study was a cross-sectional survey carried out among students at UniKL RCMP. Our main aim was to explore the prevalence of bacterial contamination in daily use water bottles and to identify possible contributing factors such as cleaning frequency, water sources, bottle materials, and user awareness. We used a questionnaire-based approach to gather data from at least 100 students, focusing on demographics, knowledge, attitudes, and hygiene practice. Our target population included students from all courses but only those who were active water bottle users. The goal was to ultimately promote the better hygiene habits and health awareness among the student community. That's all. Now, moving on to the results part, 4.1 we'll be talking about the knowledge section. So in graph 4.1.1, we found that a large majority, about 89.4% of students, agreed that sharing water bottles can lead to bacterial contamination. MBBS students form the largest group holding this belief. However, the chi-square test result, P is equal to 0.294, indicates that there is no statistical significant relationship between a student's course of study and their belief in this issue. In other words, students across all programs seems to share similar awareness. In graph 4.1.2, it looked at whether students believe that reusable or disposable water bottles are safer. So 77.2% of respondents prefer reusable water bottles, with MBBS students again forming the largest group. Still, the chi-square test, P equal to 0.303, showed no significant correlation with course of study. This tells us that the preference for reusable water bottles is consistent across the student body. So moving on to 4.2 attitude section. So first of all, we are going to look at the graph 4.2.1. This shows how concerned students were about the health risk factors of bacterial contamination in their water bottles. A majority of 81.3% said that they were either somewhat or very concerned, with MBBS students showing the highest concern. However, the chi-square test P equal to 0.605 again showed no significant link between course and level of concern. So concern about water bottle hygiene is broadly shared across all academic backgrounds. Meanwhile, graph 4.2.2 examines the last time students washed their water bottles. Among 123 respondents, 41.1% of MBBS students had washed their water bottles on the same day as the survey, suggesting slightly better hygiene practices. Other courses also had students who washed regularly. But despite these trends, the chi-square test found no statistically significant association, meaning that washing habits are generally similar across different courses. That's all for the results part. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So I will continue with discussions. We start with the result first. The result of this study highlight a significant concerns regarding the water bottle hygiene among the university students. The frequent presence of the bacteria such as the Bacillus, Shigella, E. coli, and also the Salmonella typhi points to the poor hygiene habits and possible fecal contamination. This bacteria can lead to the severe health problem if ingested. So the risk factor include the infrequence of the bottle cleaning, using only the running water without the soap, storing water while damp, and sharing the bottles. So although 72% of the students were aware that bacteria can grow in water bottle, but that many did not view this as serious health risk, indicating a gap between their awareness and their behavior. Next, we move to is that the research support the objective? So my answer is yes, because the study aimed to assess the contamination level and understand the hygiene practice, and the result clearly show that the most student water bottles harbored the bacteria due to the poor cleaning routines. So statistic analysis further confirm a significant negative correlation between the cleaning frequency and the bacteria counts. So reinforcing that the conclusion that proper hygiene practice significantly reduce the contaminations. So this support the objective of linking the hygiene behavior to the bacteria present and provide a basis for recommending improvement in hygiene education. So last is that a comparison with past research. So this finding are consistent with past research that also identify the E. coli, Pseudomonas, and Staphylococcus aureus as a common contaminant is in reusable bottle. So previous studies similarly report that infrequent cleaning, rinsing without the soap, and storing water without the proper drying contribute to the bacteria growth and behavior pattern noted in this study, such as the sharing the bottles, neglecting to the clean spot or caps, have also been documented in earlier research. So this comparison valid that current study results and emphasize that the widespread nature of the problem across the student population. So that's all for the discussion parts. Thank you.
Hello and Assalamualaikum. Moving on to the conclusion, based on the questionnaire outcome, the poor hygiene awareness among students most likely need to be highlighted as this causes their exposure to potential infections. This study also underscores the urgent need for awareness and behavioral changes among students. Interventions like washing bottles daily with soap, using a bottle brush, drying bottles properly, and avoiding bottle sharing can significantly reduce bacterial contamination and prevent health risks. Not just that, educational campaigns should focus on promoting proper water bottle hygiene, addressing common misconceptions, and encouraging better cleaning habits. For upcoming research, the number of sample size needs to be increased and collected accordingly to the subgroup so that the result outcomes can be more meaningful and significant, following the improvised sampling technique. That is all for our presentation for this questionnaire. Thank you.